Hi everyone, Jason again from MasterBit. This week's weekly workshop is about creating a custom watch face for Android Wear. If all you want is a custom background and you don't really mind about the hands, if they're just a coloured line, then you're better off going with the Code Labs tutorial, which I'll put a link underneath the video. But if you want to have custom hands as well with a PNG format, this is where you come. So let's get started. Before we can start, we have to install the required software. I'd already installed the JDK, Java Development Kit, but it's currently installing Android Studio Bundle. Once it's installed, you just allow the network address. It'll install some virtual machines for you. Then just start a new project. Custom watch face. Choose where to save it. Okay, and just choose a minimum of Android 5, because it allows you to use the much easier watch creation. I must give a big thank you to the Code Labs tutorial online. It helped me to get this done. So let's get into the code. First of all, we need to declare any variables that we're going to be using. So just and autocomplete is really nice. Once you start something, it'll give suggestions of what it thinks you're trying to write, so you can just press tab to accept. This is a little bit faster than usual, but if you get stuck, just pause it and you can catch up. So we're going to be using custom bitmaps for the background, the hands of the watch. So we're just setting up these bitmaps now. And then this is just a variable they use later in the program. Still declaring variables, but these ones are to give you a variable for the width and the height of all of the watch face, which allows you to use division to give you the center points for each of them. I'm setting both of the hand scale and the background scale to 1 for now, and we'll change them a little bit later on. Sorry about the pixelation on this. The screen recorder wasn't fantastic. Now we're just going to load in our bitmaps. One problem I will say, put it in your custom no DPI. Later on I'll show you the pictures that I used. They're just background and hands that I made myself. But you'll be able to load whatever you want. All you need to do is just call the file hours, minutes, seconds and background, and the program will automatically load them in and make them into a watch face. Now I've made a spelling mistake here in n-second bitmap, but it takes me a little while to fix it up. I start thinking I'm doubting myself, and then I got to go back and change that. But yeah, spelling mistakes are annoying. So yeah, hours, minutes, seconds, and background. You want them to be square. You want them to be about 320 pixels. That's the best quality I can find. And they got to be in PNG format, which helps a lot. Okay, just scrolling down again. Sorry about the pixelation. This is the code I got from Code Labs, the on-surface changed method. I just pretty much copied it from theirs, as well as other code. So for this bit of code, it's just so that we can resize all of our bitmaps so that they fit the phone perfectly, or should I say watch. It's important to get the center of the watch because all of the bitmaps for the hands of the watch will be rotated around that axis. So I just forgot to put the M on the hand scale, so just fix that up. Try and make your hours, minutes and seconds, as I said, square, but the same dimensions, because I only tested on the hour bitmap, so your minutes and seconds have to be in the same resolution. So this is just a bit of code. I probably could have typed it in a little bit better. Might have been able to speed it up a little, but you get an idea of what's going on. It's just resizing the files to fit the watch perfectly. Once I've got this first one done, I can just copy and paste for the rest. It's just getting this one done that's difficult. Now I just got to change all these from hour to minute, seconds and background. It's nice to just do copy and paste. That's what's going on there. I'm pressing Control C when it's highlighted and then Control V for the other ones. Okay, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes, because the OnDraw method is where the action is. This on-surface change is just resizing all of the bitmaps into the right size. And this OnDraw, because I used the CodeLabs version of this code, everything, all the variables are in different names. So I'm just gonna do the top one and then just get rid of the rest and replace it with what was in the CodeLabs version. Once it's all gone, it's just a case of so we just got to set their seconds, minutes rotation, an hour's rotation. But because hour's rotation has two components, both the actual hour and then the offset, we create a new variable called hours offset. So set that up first. Lovely. So now we're just going to save the canvas so that we can get into the rest of the drawing. So to explain what I'm writing, the hours rotation was worked out up above. It's just m times hour times 30. Rotate around the axis x, m center x, m center y. And then in ambient mode, rather than drawing the bitmaps, it's just going to draw a line in the color you set in the resources folder. I'll explain that a little bit later. But I've set it to a black background with white hands. So if you don't have burn-in protection, it's not going to ruin your watch. On the next line, I'm drawing the hour hand bitmap, rotated around 0 and 0, like in the top corner, and using hand paint, which we earlier turned it into a bitmap. If you don't do that step, it comes out very pixelated and messy. I'm doing the same thing for the minutes hand, and there's no need to worry about drawing the white line for the seconds hand because it's only visible when it's not ambient. So that's how we set it up. If not ambient, then canvas rotate, and then just seconds rotation minus minutes rotation because the canvas is already rotated with the minutes rotation. And then around M center, X and Y, and then draw, canvas draw 0, 0, so in the top left hand corner, and hand paint. Beautiful. And then obviously canvas restore so it goes back to its old state before the next rotation. So I'm just going to quickly run inspecting the code. So you just analyze, inspect the code. And then I want to set up a virtual device so we can test it out. It's got to be an Android Wear device. I chose round. You can choose square, whatever your Android watch is. I did have some troubles installing this because I went straight from installing the Android Studio without a restart. I could not get my emulators to run. So this is the folder we'll be using to hold all of our artwork for the program. So I actually have to restart because it just keeps failing all the time. As you can see, when I press next, all the settings are fine, but when I click next it says failed to load, so I have to restart the computer. And now I'm back after the restart, and again I'm going to show you, just right click on drawable new DPI and then scroll down to show in Finder, show in Explorer, sorry, and then just whatever artwork you choose, the background, hours, minutes, seconds, you just copy them into that folder. And I've also got another one called Preview Analog. You'll have to make your own and I'll explain how to do that later. So let's try and see if we can run it on the emulator. The emulator is now installed and functioning. So just getting out of these menus. Alright. Let's try and see if we can get this running. So you just click on the play icon next to the app, and it'll take a few seconds to compile and then send it to the emulator. And then you'll be able to see your custom watch face. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Alright, so it's installed. Let's have a look. Oh dear. The background has not been changed. What did I go wrong? That all looks good. It grabbed in the bitmap fine. So what's going on? Oh, hand scale and background scale. I forgot to set up the background scale variable. Oh well, I can do that now. If I can click in the right place. It's pretty much the same as hand scale, just changed to be background scale and background bitmap. So I'll just do that now. Again, sorry about the noises, there's a construction going on in my area. Okay, let's just wait for it to compile, and then it'll send it to the emulator and we'll have another look. Well, the background's fixed, but look at that hour hand. It's not doing what it should be. So I have to sniff out where that's gone wrong in the code. Okay, back to the drawing board. Alright, so we know it's to do with the hour hand. Just looking at the hours in that. Might be to do with the canvas saving and restoring, so I'll get rid of that. Give it another run, see what's going on. Waiting, sending. Alright. No, it hasn't fixed it. Alright, let's have a closer look. It's drawing it okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, I forgot to change the time to hours from seconds when I did the copy and paste. Okay, so now that we have the watch drawing the way it should be, you need to have a preview so that when you swap between watch faces, you see a correct image of what you want. So to do that, you have to take a screen grab from the emulator. Just go to the device, down the bottom, Android devices, click on the camera icon, and it'll take a screenshot for you. And then you just save that screenshot to the correct folder, which is wherever you saved this project, into the app folder, then the src folder, the main folder, res folder, drawable no DPI folder, and save it as preview_analog.png. Once you've done that, you need to double check that it's there, so we'll save it first. Yes, sure you want to replace it, of course. And then open it up to make sure it's in the correct format. Looks good. Alright, so the next step is to recompile and send it to your device. So just click on the run icon, choose your emulator or your actual watch at this stage because we know it's all above board. It'll just take a couple of seconds to compile and load onto the emulator. I would at this stage be putting it on my device, but it's all ready to go. Alright, well there you have it. You now have a custom Wear app for your Android Wear device. If you liked the video, click like. If you really liked it, click subscribe, and I'll see you next week.